Oh, good. Hi, Karen. Is she your technical advisor, Vito?
I guess so.
Hey.
Mine's not here. I couldn't get in with the link. I had to go to my wife's Zoom icon and go in that way.
Oh,
For some reason. I don't know why. I had
Well,
it happen the
that's
other day too. I think he's muted.
I think I am too.
You're okay now.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. There.
There you go. Now we
Okay.
can silent face. It's like my mother. All you can see when my mom does it is like the top of her eyebrows and her head. And then every time she talks into the computer like it's gonna help. It's
Got it.
hilarious.
My mother does that too. All we can see is the top of her head.
Yeah. I told her to get a booster seat. She goes, I'm already sitting on a pillow. Find a phone book. These
You
kids
should see
find
the
out.
online classes for the kindergartens we have going on in my office. You get 6 kindergartners on at once, and they're all over the map with how much you can see and what's going on and how much they're wiggling. It's fun to watch.
Oh, golly.
Okay.
All right.
We're ready to start.
All right, 5:32. We'll call this meeting to order. I think we got a quorum. Yep. And it's been a little while, but we have our July minutes. If everyone's had an opportunity to read those, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay. Anyone want a second?
Michael seconds.
Michael seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none. Unanimous approval. Streak continues. Any public comment, Nikki or Mary?
Uh,
I didn't receive any emails for public comment.
Okay, then no to public comment. And new business, we have some youth commissioners on the line. So do we want to have them introduce themselves? Are you introducing them, Mary?
No, why don't you go on the agenda? You can see the youth council listed. Why don't you start with the first one and recognize them, and then they can share a little bit about themselves, what school they go to, and maybe why they picked the park board. There's quite a few of them on the youth council, and so they all got to pick one, and so we have 3 members. So maybe find out a little bit why they might have picked this board over some of the others.
Sure, we're just going to go alphabetical order down the list then, and we have Ariana first. And can you share that with us?
Hi, I go to Clover Park High School. I've never done the council before. I just moved here, so I thought it'd be a good thing to do just to get to know people.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you, and we definitely welcome your input. It's nice to have the youth opinions. And I'm probably going to butcher this name, but I don't know if I see him on here, but is it Mackay?
Maybe Micah?
Micah? Yeah, I don't see Micah on, so, or McKay, however you said it. I'm bad that way. And then Carly, I saw her face for a second. Hi, Carly,
Yes,
welcome.
Hi, I'm Carly Sherman. I'm a sophomore at Lakes High School, and I attended the youth, the last year that they put on for the youth in the city. And so I thought it would be a good opportunity to just get involved. I can't remember what that was called, but I thought that was very interesting.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining up. And like I say, we welcome your input. So don't feel shy. Please share your opinions. And so Yeah, welcome. Thank you. So that will move us on to old business, and we've got a problem with motorized vehicles on trails, both in Lakewood and Federal Way. So
I'll jump in. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So at our last meeting, which was in July, we went over a lot of information. The initial request came from council for us to look at the code. There had been some conversation regarding different kinds of vehicles, all-terrain vehicles and things up on some of the trails. And so we just they wanted us to take a look at the code. Was the code clear? How does it deal with access, those kinds of things. So at our last meeting, we looked at we looked at our current code, which we have listed. We also looked at all kinds of different definitions, codes from different cities. We talked about what the legal requirements were for mobility devices, because some of those are motorized. We took a look at all kinds of different things, speed limits and definitions. And so what we wanted to do is we had quite a conversation, and it was good feedback. We felt like there was a lot of good information in our code, and that we just we wanted to keep it simple, but also clarify. So what we came up with from the conversation that we had and from all of our notes was to basically look at our current couple of definitions that might need just a little bit more information in them, and then also a little bit of an addition to our code. So Nikki has up here on the screen, you can see the current definitions for motor vehicle. We added all-terrain or off-road vehicles because that would include scooters and motorcycles and ATVs and quads and other things like that. But there were, you can already see there's quite a few other things in there. So motor vehicles covers, it says that any self-propelled device capable of being moved upon a road and in or upon any property by which persons or property can be transported. Does not say trails in there. I just want to note that it says roads, so that's important. So it includes those things there. And then under trail, it means any path, track, or right-of-way designed for use by pedestrians, bicycles, and equestrians. So we're not talking about roads. We're talking about, off the beaten path, so to speak. We did add the word mobility devices because we did learn by law they are allowed anywhere a pedestrian is allowed. And so what we wrote was the mobility, and there's a lot of definitions on e-bikes, different classifications of e-bikes and scooters and different things. So we just added mobility devices as defined by the RCW because they can change the RCW and then we'll just be current. And so that's why we stuck with the word mobility device and then used the RCW so that it goes back to what is all the rage at that time. And then, or other non-motorized modes of transportation. So then we got down to the actual code, and what we thought we would do is, because the issue was specifically up in the natural areas, which it's almost impossible to put signs posted. There's so many trails and activity areas. So what we thought we would do is, first of all, we took off highways because we don't have highways in and through our parks. And so we just deleted that because we thought if we're fixing it, we might as well fix it. But what we did add was no person shall operate a motor vehicle within the boundaries of a park except on paved, we wrote paved, so that was really clear, roads, streets, parking lots, parking areas, or were otherwise permitted by proper posting. Because we do have signs posted in the park that say maintenance vehicles only, or it says, no motorized vehicles. And then what we did add is mobility devices to that the section won't include, emergency vehicles, maintenance vehicles, construction vehicles, mobility devices. So, so we thought that sort of covered it and gave a little bit more clarity. Again, it's all about enforcement. If Sylvia's up riding her motorcycle on the trails at Fort Silicon Park, and Vito is walking his dog and he calls 911 to say there's a person riding their motorcycle, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to catch that person and to get the police department to be up there to take care of it. I mean, it could be a fluke that they're around, but it's really an enforcement issue. And 93% of the people know the rules. We're hoping that this helps people understand the rules. We do have signs right at the front posting what the rules are, but we're hoping that this kind of provides that clarity. And then again, we can do some additional education. But so what are your thoughts? We just wanted to make sure that we summarized your thoughts. You saw the minutes, you approved the minutes. So I think you you saw how we summarized your feedback, and then how this would be the recommendation that we would eventually forward to council to tell them this is what your thought. Totally open for conversation.
Yeah, Mary, I would say kudos to your legal team, because I'm updating ours currently, and we can't quite get this refined. I think I'm at almost a full page. So looks awesome, simplistic, to the point. Great job.
Harry, we talked about miles per hour, and that's really not applicable here.
Well, we have miles per hour in our code. Let me see, I have the old one right here.
Okay.
We didn't add it to there. We talked about it, but
Right.
we didn't add it to the code because it's already in the code. I think it's 15 miles per hour.
Okay.
That's the standard we have, is 15. I get the two codes confused sometimes.
Well, we probably copied them from each other. You probably copied them from Pierce County, and we probably copied them from Pierce County at some point and then updated them. So let me, I can double.
Well, I see no loopholes. I think it's a good document.
If anybody wants to, oh, it says speed limits, motor vehicle speed limits. Here it says no person shall drive a motor vehicle within any park at a speed greater than 15 miles per hour or otherwise posted. So you can make it
Okay.
less if you want. Having due regard for traffic on and the surface of the width of the road, and in no event at a speed which endangers the safety of a person, property, or wildlife. And then again, not driven at 15 miles per hour in a picnic, utility, or in areas of general public assembly. So,
Okay. Good.
and we do have signs posted coming in and in different areas that say 15 miles per hour.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. I think this is what we should send on to our council, and I'll move that we approve it and send it on. This is going to be an issue we're going to probably readdress in 4 or 5 years, because the proliferation of some of the motorized scooters and some of the other things that we haven't even seen yet is coming. But I think this is as good and as broad and as perfect as you can write it right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Harley, Ariana, anything to add? Does it seem reasonable? Cool. All right, well, we have a motion on the table. Alan's made it first. Does anyone want to second that?
I will second it.
Okay, awesome. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous approval. Thank you all. And next we get to roll on to Mary's director report.
Okay, I am going to share the screen. This will stop other screen sharing. Do you want to continue? Does that mean that's what I do?
Yep, that's what you do.
All right, so let's do this. And do you see my screen? Can you see the advisory board director's report?
Got it.
Okay, good. So, so I'm just going to start with an overview of our capital projects. It seems like that's what we've been working on like crazy. There's lots going on. So Springbrook Park expansion, as you recall, we received an allocation, and so we'll be looking at the Springbrook Park master plan. When we originally did Springbrook Park, we made major improvements, but we didn't account for those 3 properties at the end that were adjacent to the park that we've purchased and finalizing, tearing everything down. We're going to do creek restoration. And then on the other side of the park is 47th. We call it Lower Springbrook. But if you cross the bridge now and go down there, you can get right up to the transit building. So we're going to be working on that park master plan update and park expansion and Clover Creek restoration. Bruce Dees has been selected as our consultant. He did the initial Springbrook Park plan. And so he'll be coming to either the next meeting or maybe November after we've done some outreach and some planning and some historic gathering. That property down there is really funky. You know, it used to be a swimming hole, and they divert the water from the creek and fill the swimming hole up every summer. And there were platforms because it was sort of like the house was on the Springbrook side, and then they crossed over their own bridge, and they had, that was like Partyville. So so we're kind of finding all kinds of fun stuff, and we'll be sorting that out. But anyway, he'll be coming to chat with you about some ideas to get your, you know, feedback and then information. And we also have been talking about how to gather the information from the Springbrook folks. You know, we were able to meet with their Springbrook connections, but they've not really been doing that with COVID. So we may actually go out to one of their mobile food bank days and hang out in the picnic shelter and then just chat with folks and gather some additional information. We did work with them pretty much with the first plan, but you know, life's changed, sites change, world's changed. So we just want to get some more feedback from them. We'll be adding 2 gateways. WashDOT, you know, is doing all that work down there by Telecom, and so they are finishing up some sections of it. So we'll be adding a gateway at the Berkeley exit by the Camp Murray side, and then we'll also be adding a gateway over on the Woodbrook side, which is by the new business park where Woodbrook Middle School used to be, out in that area. So we'll be putting 2 gateways there, and then that one should be happening later this fall, because one site is ready, but the other site has a big light in it that they can't take out till they, a light pole till the end of their construction. So we're trying to coordinate how to be efficient with our resources, but still work with their timing. Chambers Creek Trail, we talked about this, I think a couple months ago. You know, the cost estimates came back really high. So much of the work on the University Place side would have entailed boardwalks and walkways hanging off the cliffs and a lot of really expensive improvements. So we're looking at maybe realigning it to reduce costs, which may put more of it on the Lakewood side. So we're working right now on some ideas, and so we'll come back your way when we want to share that. Harry Todd Park is under construction. They're building bulkheads and tearing down bathroom structures, and so that work is in progress and moving forward. The Angle Lane project at Fort Silicon Park has been under construction. The back parking lot's done. We just have to work a little bit the striping on the ADA stuff. The restrooms being built up by Wahop Lake Park, or the Wahop Lake parking lot. So we're going to probably do 2 substantial completions so that we can get that parking lot at the end opened up sooner and get people off the road. So that'll be good. And then we'll finish up the bathroom probably late October. We're working with Nisqually Tribe, you know, to do some cool things in the plaza. And so that's just been a work in progress, trying to get that. They're excited about the project, but just, you know, trying to get that completed. So we're still working with them on that. Edgewater Park, we started that 1.5 years, maybe almost 2 years ago now. Got the master plan done, draft master plan done, and then we started having issues with some property lines and some neighbors. And so there's some real right-of-way issues going on up there. So they have to figure that out, and that's really a public works engineering thing because it has to do with roads and right-of-way. And really, it's past the park. It's by that sewer treatment pump station, but they got to figure all that out before we can decide, you know, what direction we're going to be doing the one-way traffic for the parking. And so anyway, that's still just sort of on hold. We'll get back when we start. We'll make sure that we get everybody back in the loop when we're ready to start making some decisions. The only thing we really have to do out there is there's some dangerous trees that we identified during that development process, so we're going to be needing to remove some of them. So we're working on getting those prices to do that. The pavilion is starting. We're going to have a kitchen and 2 bathrooms. Probably in the next 6 weeks we'll be done, so that's exciting. They said a month. I'm giving them 6 weeks. You know, it always takes longer than you think. So that'll be really cool, because that way, when and if we can start bringing groups back together, it'll be a great little rental. It'll be a great facility for community gatherings and celebrations, and so that's going to be fun to have that done. We've been working with the county on Seeley Lake. You know, there's that Seeley Lake Trail. It's kind of icky back there, and there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done, and looking at some alternative entrances. And so that sort of design's been done, but you know, everything costs $1 million. So now we're going to have to figure out what we can complete and what we can't. There's a ton of runoff that goes in there from all the industrial park, and a huge portion of Lakewood goes into that. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's a retention pond, but how can we make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, as well as educational for folks, and then safe, so people feel like it's a safe place to walk. So there's several different elements that need to happen to clean that area up. And again, it's Pierce County property, so we were fortunate to put some resources in there, and they put some resources in there. So we're continuing with that work, and we'll bring something your way when we have something to take a look at and get some feedback from you on that. And then the service club sign is being installed probably in conjunction with the gateways. We've put that out as being, because it's all sort of signs and monuments as a big package. So that'll be happening here towards the end of the fall. Another project that's not on here that we'll be dropping in is we received money from Pierce County to put a shelter in at American Lake. And last 2 meetings ago, I guess, we did a big presentation on American Lake Master Plan. And so that one's going to be over in the corner by the playground. So that'll be nice because we'll be able to put that in and it won't interfere with any improvements. They are working on the parking lot right now. The park itself is pretty much closed because they had to close the restrooms down because they cut water lines and all that. But they are going to be replacing that parking lot, adding some capacity, because if you're ever in that area on a hot summer day, it's full. So we're working on that. Are there any questions on any of those projects or concerns or thoughts?
No.
Okay.
I just had to remind me where the service club sign's going.
The place that we selected was out by the town center sign off of Bridge
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
area. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah,
in
no, great.
beach. What is it called? Long Beach Cafe?
Yep.
Okay.
Have we been in touch with the service clubs yet and told them to order the sign or give them specifications?
No, we're going to get the cost from the contractor, and we may just order all the signs so they're consistent, so we don't have different signs coming from different people. It would be the right logos and everything, but we're gonna work on that sign piece once we find out how much it's going to cost us to build the sign, if we can afford it. So
Yeah. Because there is one company that does them for, I know, at least the Lions, Kiwanis, and Rotary,
Oh,
and they're all very standard.
yeah. Is that a local? Is that like Plum Sign?
No, it's a national company, Russell
so-
Hampton, I think.
Yeah, so we'll work with the contractor on that and then see how best to get those. All the service clubs offered at some point to purchase their sign to go on there. We'll just want to make sure it's the same size, the right material.
Yeah.
So,
No, I understand. Yeah.
and I did send something out to one of the clubs. Oh gosh, it could have been 2 weeks ago. It was probably 2 months ago. Could have been 2 years ago. Kind of they were asking where are we at, so I gave them an update. So once we sort of know what we're doing, we'll give everybody a heads up. That's a good point. And I'm sure Nikki's writing that down to remind me about that. Okay, so project updates. I just want to remind you all, I feel like I've been doing for weeks and weeks and weeks has been park grants. We've applied for millions of dollars worth of grants. We try really hard to offset the cost of doing all these park improvements with grant resources. And so you can see the list here. We applied for grants. I did my final presentation today for ALEA, but we've been doing local parks and ALEA and Land and Water Conservation Fund and Youth Athletic Field. And so you can see we're trying to utilize all those outside resources. Again, it protects our general fund. It makes us, and many of these grants can match each other. So if I get a $500,000 grant here, that's a state grant, and a $500,000 grant over here, it's a federal grant, you can match them. So that's $1 million. It doesn't cost the city any money. So that's great. So we're looking at that, and we should find out by the end of this week how we stand on almost all of them, except for the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So we'll be able to report to you next month how well we did and how happy we are or how sad we are that we have to go find some more money. So, so we're working on that. I had a question, and I looked through my records and I didn't see it, but I know last 2 meetings ago we did a presentation on the American Lake Project. Did we do one on the Words Lake Project? I didn't see it this year on our schedule. And I know we talked about the master plan back, but we've done more refining to that. Does anybody remember that? Because we can put that on the agenda for next month to do a kind of an overview of, you know, how we presented it and all the different elements to it.
Good idea.
Yeah, it'd be welcome. Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while since we talked about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, because yeah, so we'll put that on the future agenda. Anyway, lots going on. There's some exciting things happening, and I'll share all the details next month on that. The farmers market has had great success. They've just been blowing out the numbers. The vendors are so happy. Even when it was so smoky, they all showed up to do their thing. So we've had just record sales, and the new location's been great. And the new date and time, Fridays, you know, afternoon, early evening, I think has really contributed to the tons of people showing up. So that's great. We really worked hard on our masks and our social distancing and sanitation because, of course, we wanted to really make sure that it was a safe environment. So that's good.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. Sally's doing a great job with it.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that part of why our farmers market was so amazing was, first of all, I love the location here because you have all these trees. I'm pointing because I'm looking out the window at City Hall. But, you know, we had great entertainment. We had partners. We had, you know, activities for the kids. They've really had to limit that with COVID, you know, so that'll come back at some point. But it'll just get better and better. But obviously, you know, didn't slow anybody down. The vendors were happy and people seemed happy. So, and then, you know, we couldn't do all of our festivals and events and things. So we did a couple drive-in movies, and those sold out like that. We did Grease and Sandlot, and people just had a great time. We did them on the ball field, and it worked out great. So instead, because as we were crossing our fingers thinking Truck and Tractor Day could happen, we really couldn't figure out how to do that in a safe manner regarding COVID and, you know, gathering. So we're going to do, instead of Truck and Tractor Day, we're going to do another drive-in movie. We're going to do Coco because it's really a really great movie to celebrate our diversity in our community and teach some people some great lessons, and it's a fun movie. So everybody that comes gets a free pumpkin like you would at Truck and Tractor Day, and like a pumpkin decorating kit. And anyway, so that's coming up, and it's practically sold out already. So if you want to come, it's $10. And the funny part was the people coordinating this event had never gone to a drive-in movie. Now, I'm old. I've been to drive-in movies. And there are some drive-ins that are still around. You know, when my kids were growing up, we used to drive them out to Belfair and take them to the rodeo drive-in, it's called. So, but some people, they'd never been to a drive-in, so it was really fun for them to get that opportunity. And a lot of community members haven't done that. So anyways, for $10, it's the best family night you'll have for $10. And everybody got a free bag of popcorn too, because we got another sponsor. And so we figured, oh, well, we'll just have our vendor make popcorn. Everybody gets a free bag of popcorn. So that's fun too. So again, trying to be creative with this situation to still give families and our community a chance to know that we're here and we're still fun. Speaking of COVID, the Department of Emergency Management has used Fort Slocum Park to do some testing. They did 193 tests in September, and they're going to be doing it in October, November, and December. Again, just to give people another way to be tested if they have concerns or if they need to be tested. So working with them. And then our senior center, which was closed and has still remained closed, and we're sad about that. But we worry about our older adults. They're vulnerable. Of course, they're the most vulnerable, so we don't want to just bring them all back in. We really can't till phase 4. So, and I'm going to email it to you. This is, in case you can't see it, it's called the Senior Scoop. And so they have a calendar. They're starting to do virtual happy hours, and they've done some walking events, and they're expanding on that so that the groups can get together in groups of 5, and they're hosted walks. And you have to register because, of course, we're limited with numbers and we want everybody to be safe. But anyway, so it's great that we're getting those folks back out. Over the summer, my gosh, we've been doing this since spring. Since things closed, you know, they have all these phone trees. People are getting called every week so that we are touching base with our thousands of members, hundreds and hundreds of people, just to make sure they're safe and that there's a connection. And, you know, you do worry about everybody's mental health during this time, but you really worry about our older adults who are sometimes isolated, sometimes alone, and you want to make sure that they have, you know, a connection. So we're keeping that up. We've been keeping that up since March, since things closed down, and I've been continuing that until still now. So that's cool. And then I just wanted to invite everybody to walk the WAHOP. Partners for Parks is doing a virtual walk. It's going to be Walk the WAHOP week. So there'll be more notification coming out, and Alan might want to share a little bit more. He's on our board. But October 4th through 10th, you can take a walk at Fort Steilacoom Park and take a selfie of you and your family and send it into our website. And then actually on October 11th, we aren't having an event, but there'll just be an information booth set up by the barn so people can come and learn more. And then what I'm going to show you, and make donations, that's always a big thing, because we can't do our barn bingo this year. But I am going to show you this video that Ken Whitkill made for us. He's also on the board. And so I'm going to just do this and see if it pops up. Okay, that's little. This is big. Can anybody see that? Do I need to move it to my other screen? Can you guys see that?
No.
No. Okay, so I need to, this is my sharing screen. This is my move it here screen, maybe. Let's see what happens there. I don't know what that, oh, that's Nikki's screen. Okay, the technical spouse of the group is me. Oh, I know if I do this, then I can move this over. Okay, now we're in the business. Can you guys see it now? Says
Nope.
Vimeo at the top.
Nope.
Oh,
What?
but Alan sent that to us, didn't he? Alan? I haven't had a chance
Yeah,
to
I
look
sent
yet.
everybody a link to the thing that was on the email list
Right.
from Sylvia. There we go. Now you got it.
Oh,
Oh, so you got it. Okay, see, I'm super technical. So here we go. I'm just going to show you. It's only like a couple minutes. I just think it's a great little video.
It is a great video. No,
Particular property was part of the.
but we're not getting the video.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I'm getting audio.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go to, you are screen sharing. So stop share, and then I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to get that. Now, can you see it?
Yep.
Let's
The
see.
barns behind.
That's got it.
Yep.
Parks is important to preserve that part of history on this ground.
So Fort Steilacoom Park specifically has this rich farming history. So we've got these great structures, but they need to be rehabilitated. They need to meet all of the safety codes so that you can access them. And so we're excited about restoring the barn so that it can be a gathering place for our community.
But this is probably the most historic original buildings that are here within Fort Steilacoom Park. And so the goal has been set to revamp these parks and put them to public use.
So the H barn at Fort Steilacoom Park, this particular barn was a milking barn. So Fort Steilacoom Park had really big farming. We had horses, pigs, cows, turkeys. And so this particular barn was a milking barn. There's not very many opportunities where you can get out and learn more about the history of the site and actually interact with it. And so one of the great ideas for this facility is to allow people to see it, use it, and experience it, but also have it modern and safe so that people can access it.
I've always loved this barn, and in my brain, you know how you imagine what something could be. And I just thought what a great gift it could be to the community.
Well, there aren't that many facilities in the city of Lakewood where you can really have a large group gathering, whether it's a service club for a special event, private event for a reunion or a wedding, and then community events too, art shows, farmers markets, concerts. There's just a million different ways that you could use this barn. And the design and the ideas for restoration would accommodate all those different kinds of uses. But what we'd really like to do is to retain that rich history. The building's amazing. The interior could be restored to its previous glory, but also just to show the community what was here and to sustain it for the future.
I think parks are important to a community because they offer a different kind of outlet for people. You can go shopping, you need all of those things, but this is a place that you can just go with your family or by yourself and be out and in the fresh air and be part of something that I think enhances your life. So there's lots of ways that people can find out about what's happening with the barn restoration project. They can go to our website and find out more. You can donate towards this project, a little bit or a lot. Every little bit will help.
It is worth our while to preserve them.
So that is, stop share, that is the video that Partners for Parks was working on. And again, they did it in conjunction with the Walk the Wall Hop Week, but also it's something that can be on the website, you know, forever to, as we work on this project, because this is going to be a long-term project. So anyway, I just wanted to share it with you, just hot off the press.
Super cool.
Thanks, Alan, for sending it out to folks, and we'll be sharing it with council on, I think it's October 12th. Partners for Parks will be chatting with them about, you know, giving them an update on what's happening with the barn restoration project. And, you know, their goal was to start doing some research regarding a public-private partnership and how do we get to $6 million. But of course, that was in March. We were all ready to get started. And so everything stopped. So we're, they'll just give them an update on kind of where they're at and what their goals are. And, you know, we thought it was going to be a 5-year project. Maybe it was going to be a 6-year project. So we'll see. I think that's, okay, now I got to probably share. And now I'm going to go back to my report because I just want to, do you guys see that?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I'm so good at this. So anyway, next month we're going to talk about Wards Lake. We might talk about Chambers Creek Canyon Trail. I'm not sure where we'll be with that. We will be able to talk to you about our 21-22 budget. That's getting dropped this week with council. They'll start reviewing it in October. We'll have a better idea about the impacts of, you know, our economic changes and what it looks like for Parks and Recreation, streets, signal signs, and all the other stuff that we work on, arts and human services. And these are just some of the topics that were in our work program that, you know, we didn't have meetings for a while and now we are Zooming. So a lot of that is dumped on October. We're not going to be able to do all of that in October and probably not all in November, but we just wanted to make sure we're capturing those things we told council we were going to be working on. Some of them might get delayed until next year. So.
Good.
And then just one more thing I want to make sure you're in the loop on down here. We're going to be doing our Christmas tree lighting probably virtually. We'll probably record some stuff and the council will probably unveil it in early December. But we're going to have a holiday reverse parade. Now, many of you may never have heard of a reverse parade, but how that works is that we're going to take the different groups, and we can't have large groups of people, but different floats and groups that decorated, and they will be at the Colonial Plaza, and we're going to line the street with the floats, and then the people drive through. So it'll be a reverse parade where instead of standing on the side and watching, you will drive through with your family and get to see the lights. We'll probably give you a prize at the end or something. So anyway, we're going to be doing that on December 12th. We've never done it before. It's going to be awesome, but we're going to try it from 6 to 8. And there'll be more information coming your way soon. But if you or one of your organizations wants to participate, there's an application form. We'll work with you. We had a lot of entries last year. It really was becoming a cool holiday thing. And we want it to continue, but this is a way to do it now, this year, because of, you know, gathering. So we figure it's another way of getting people out to enjoy their community. Then they can drive from Motor Avenue, they can come to the town center, they can look at the tree, go buy some things.
Super creative.
Here. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're working on now. That is the end of my report.
Awesome. Do we have any board member comments?
No comments.
Yep, not hearing anybody. Then we'll remind everybody the next meeting is Tuesday, October 27th, 5:30. We'll be Zooming again. And with that, I guess the meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much. Nice to see you all.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Thank you.
everybody. Welcome, youth council members. We're glad to have you.
Thank you, Carly. Thank you,
safe.
Ariana.
And we'll send you out.
Thank you. It was nice being on.
Thank you. We'll send you out a copy of the monthly report so you can take a look at it.
Awesome. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Nikki.
Have a nice night. Be
You
safe.
too.